you got here just in time. The phone lines are back up and working.
Okay.
622-9622 is the number to call if you want to talk to Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Auto. Auto repair with personal care from Sunrise Auto. I will tell you, my air conditioner's running fine.
All right.
When the fan works. Once again, you diagnosed it properly. When I'm going down the road or when my fan is operable, when it decides to turn on, cold air.
Yeah.
When that fan decides it doesn't want to turn on, lukewarm air.
Yep. That's.
And so it's not a compressor issue or anything. It's literally a cooling fan issue.
Right, because you got to get that air going through the condenser and everything. But I will say this: don't wait too long because
it could.
Well, what happens is when the fan's not working and you're idling, your pressures are going way high.
Right, so it could blow up the compressor.
So, right,
and, yeah.
Right, you could damage the compressor. So we don't want you to do that.
No. So cranking my car 10 minutes before I leave from the house is not a good idea.
Well, that's fine. Just don't have the air running.
Well, but that's why I turn it on so my car's cool by the time I get into it.
No, I do that when it's cold outside. See,
Yeah.
I like my car to be warm.
I don't like my car to be 104.
No, I don't like it either to be 104.
And I have the shade for my windshield. It's just such a pain in the neck to put it up and take it down every time.
See, and
my wife does it, no problem. It's just a pain.
Yeah.
And I know it's 30 seconds, but it's 30 seconds that just aggravate the hell out of me.
I know, I get it. Man, you want to talk about aggravating? I'm aggravated.
You walked in and looked aggravated, and I thought it was about the phone line, but they're up and working. 622-9622. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that they were down.
Well, look, Facebook yesterday, Skype today. But Skype seems to be back up now.
Okay.
Although I didn't miss Facebook yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was down yesterday.
Yeah,
so.
all these people that survived the Facebook outage.
Survived it.
Yeah, there are people on Facebook who go, I survived the Facebook outage.
Oh, my God. Wait, they don't have no idea what's coming around the corner.
I survived the Facebook outage.
Yeah.
Somebody the other day said, how can I make my kids understand what it was like for me growing up? That's easy. Just shut off the damn internet. Shut the internet off. There you go.
Yeah, and give them a bicycle.
Yeah, shut the internet off. Wait, but they can still watch cable. Not if they're streaming. They can't now.
That's right.
And if you don't have an antenna, I would love to see children or kids today that have always had 300 channels to choose from and everything.
Yeah.
Be subjected to rabbit ears.
Yeah. It would be good for them to kind of understand a little bit of what we went through. Not that long ago, Tom. It's not
40 years ago.
No, it's
remember, my dad had a remote. And people say, "When was the first remote done?" I don't know when it was. I know when we visited. I remember visibly when we got our first remote. It's 1971. Because that's the first time I can recollect my dad slapping me in the back of the head. Go change that TV, boy. I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
He thumped me in the back of the head. Go change the TV. Yeah. My dad had a remote control.
Yeah, that was it. I think I was a remote control too.
Oh yeah, and you were also the body part. You were also the body that let the energy as you were grabbing the rabbit ears get a good picture for your dad.
I don't remember. I vaguely remember the rabbit ears.
Oh,
vaguely.
We had them, brother.
I mean, I remember the big tall antenna bolted to the side of the house.
Oh, we didn't have one of those. If we'd had one of those, probably wouldn't have needed a rabbit ears.
We wouldn't have.
Because you could call Sputnik from that thing that was bolted to the side of the house. I mean, it looked like the big end of a quill on an arrow was what it looked like.
Yeah, that was
and you could call. I literally thought, well, why didn't somebody just go SS Minnow come in? They could probably reach Gilligan on the island with that antenna on the side of your house.
Yep.
So what are you aggravated about if it's not the phone? I thought it was going to be just couldn't take calls.
No, that really wasn't. I didn't know about Facebook.
Because you can take calls, 622-9622.
And we can do that. But so before a caller comes in, I want to talk to the 13 listeners, right? 13?
No, we're up to 17 now. 17. It's been a good year.
All right. So we got to 17 listeners.
Well, no, we lost a bunch. When Larry and Robin retired, we went from 34 back down to about 11. And so now we're back up to 17. Okay. We're about halfway back to where Larry and Robin had it.
Okay. And so maybe we'll get back there.
Well, no, Joe keeps coming on the microphone.
Okay, so I'm aggravated.
You seem to be a little flummoxed.
So I don't even know what that means, but I'm a little aggravated.
You seem flummoxed.
Yeah. So I had a situation, okay, where a person has a Hyundai, a car,
Right.
and the engine blew up in it. Now, this is not one of my customers.
Right.
A friend of a friend kind of thing called me up and said, "Hey, Matt, so and so over here has this Hyundai and the engine blew up." And I asked him what motor, and he told me. I said, "Man, whatever you do not take it apart. Hyundai, Kia are having some issues with motors. We can probably get it fixed under warranty."
Too late.
Well, he's got a mechanic guy, and I'm like, "I'm telling you, man, whatever the mechanic guy is going to do, please tell him, do not take it apart.
Don't take the motor apart.
Don't take it apart." Well, guess what?
They took it apart.
And guess what?
It's now no longer warranted by Hyundai.
And this was done by a garage. So I told the guy, I said, I finally met him and realized who he is and all that. We got the car over to the shop. I said, just get the car to me and we'll put it all back together for you and take it over to the dealership and see if maybe they can help him, because they don't have the money to fix it. You're talking about several thousands of dollars.
Which could have got fixed by the
manufacturer,
right,
for free if somebody wouldn't have gone in there and.
But it wasn't at your shop. It was somebody that called you asking you for advice.
And my advice was, do not take it apart. So
step away from the Hyundai.
And so my aggravation is, number one, is that, okay, so here's a shop. This was a shop here in town that did this.
Right.
Here's a shop in town that doesn't know what I know. And there's no, and it's not like I'm special.
Yeah, but couldn't a short Google search show that there's
absolutely?
Because when I got the recall on my Cadillac, I go, well, I hadn't heard of this recall, so I Googled it, and boom,
there it is.
Hundreds of listings for that recall.
Absolutely.
I wasn't aware of it, but a lot of people were.
That's
and
right.
It just took me just putting in the recall,
Yep.
hundreds of pages popped up. So it wouldn't be that difficult to research what you're talking about.
No, and see, but here's the thing that gets me is, we all know that Hyundai and Kia are having issues with this particular engine. We know that. Everybody knows that.
Right.
It's on meat. It's in it everywhere.
Right.
But it's not the customer's responsibility to know that.
But it is the shop's responsibility
But it's
to
my
know.
responsibility to know.
I mean, if you say that you're working on the car and you putting your best foot forward, shouldn't you know everything? Because whoever this shop was has just cost that customer a free motor. Maybe.
Thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Right. And so.
And of course, the shop's going to be like,
well, we didn't know.
We didn't know.
Well, why not? And my challenge is, why didn't you know? If a car comes into my shop and if it's something weird or something off the cuff, and it's in that time frame where we'll do a TSB search, we'll do a recall search, and sometimes I'll tell my guys, Gage and Tom and Richard, hey, call the dealer and see if there's any kind of an extended warranty program that they're doing on this, because this isn't right. This doesn't sound right. And come to find out, we had a Chevrolet truck come in there, and the condenser was leaking, and it leaked all the Freon out of, and it had a crack in it.
Right.
Well, Chevrolet or GM
knew about
the issue, and they extended a warranty until the vehicle had 60,000 miles. So it was typically warranted for 36,000 miles.
Right.
But now they extended the warranty to 60. So here a customer comes in, it's about an $1,100 job if you're getting a part from GM.
He comes in at 45,000 miles out of warranty. He thinks.
Right. We make a phone call, sir. Matter of fact, we'll take it over there for you.
Yeah.
It's here. You dropped it off. We're going to run it over to Palm. They're going to take care of it under warranty.
Right.
And so now,
but that's because you did the extra step, Matt.
And that's what aggravates
you. You took the extra step, Matt.
It's just customer service, taking care of people. That's all it is.
My dad said customer service died with the convenience store.
It did in that arena. It did, absolutely.
In the automotive arena,
right.
My dad said customer service died.
That's right.
When the gas jockeys quit checking your oil and checking your fluids to see if your window washer was full and everything.
That's right.
Customer service died, and that was 1974, 75.
Now see.
Unless you're in New Jersey.
Well, or unless you were in Ocala, Florida,
And go to your shop.
And no, because when I was in high school at Forest High School, I walked over across the street down there to Tues BP, where we had still did full service.
Right. But in New Jersey, it's law.
It has to, right?
In New Jersey, there is no self-service.
Right.
You have to stay in your car.
Yeah, because of the static electricity.
Well, you know what? Whatever the reason, to me, whenever I drive up to the Northeast, I hope that I can drive in New Jersey just so I can go in and say, yeah, check all that for me. In a rental car. It's a rental car. Yeah, check all that for me.
Do you give him a tip?
I do.
Okay.
Because that's how look, when I was 8, 9, 10 years old, and now you don't do it, there's regulation. When I was 8, 9, 10 years old, the person, I had a little step stool, a little three-level step ladder. I knew how to read the oil on the stick. I knew how to see if there was enough water in the window washer. I knew how to pump gas. When the car pulled up to the pump, beep, beep, Dad was working on the car, boy, go out there and take care of that.
Yep.
I'm 10 years old. I'm collecting the money and everything.
Yep.
But it was still customer service. Nobody had to get out of the car.
That's right.
And they thought it was cute that some little kid was coming out waiting. It was probably dangerous as hell, but it was the 70s. Who cared?
Yeah, we rode bicycles, no helmets back then.
We rode bicycles within 1.5 feet of where they were emitting the gas to kill mosquitoes in that truck. Okay? We would, you chased a mosquito truck on your bicycle.
Yeah. You sure did.
That's why people say coronavirus. Look, I chased a mosquito truck. I'm good. Good. Good morning. You're on with Matt Gibbs.
Hi, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Hi, Hugh.
Say, Matt, what do you recommend having your brake fluid changed? How often?
That's a good one there, Hugh. Let's see here. How do I honestly just answer this question? And just, here we go. Unless something gets in that brake fluid and contaminates it,
it's good forever.
It's good. It's going to be good, dude. I mean, if it ever comes down to it where you need a caliper replaced or you need to replace a wheel cylinder, or if a caliper, okay, I'll say it like this. Let's say a caliper hangs up and it gets real hot and it melts the piston and it melts the boots, I would say replace it then.
Because it burn it.
Because it got to a temperature. Because like if with brake fluid, there's like most of our cars are .3,
right, and
then a lot of European cars are .4. The only difference between .3 and .4 is the temperature rating. .4 is just a higher temperature. So if there was a reason where something got hot, replace it. But just to service it, just for the sake of service, if it's not nasty, it's not contaminated with something, well, just leave it alone and take your wife out to dinner that night.
Well, she'll like to hear that. Yes. To be real honest with you, I call the internet and they recommend it every 2 years, regardless of mileage. It's a Buick Enclave, and I called the dealership up and talked to the service department. They recommend it every 5 years, regardless of mileage. Now that was their opinion on it. So I like yours better, and I know my wife wants to go out to eat.
Remember, Hugh, a dealership's in the business of making money, and they want you to come in not to change your brake fluid. They want you to come in so the car's in service, so a salesperson can come sell you another Enclave while yours is in service.
Well, let me say it like this though, too. Okay, so here's the say. So you go to the dealership. We live in extreme weather conditions because we'll go above 95 degrees for more than 3 consecutive days. So we live we live in extreme weather conditions. Now the manufacturer has to recommend a time to service these things.
CYA.
Because if I'm the manufacturer and I just say, listen, Hugh, you don't ever have to service that in case and something were to happen, well, Matt said.
Yeah.
And see, I put myself out there.
Yeah.
I put myself out there. So
yeah, right.
So everybody's got to cover their butts, and everybody's got to, I mean, I don't think I've ever in my whole life. I've been doing this since I was 16 years old. I cannot think of one single time.
He's not 16 anymore.
No, I'm not. But I cannot think of one single time that I actually sold a brake fluid service to a customer ever.
I didn't even know a brake fluid flush was something until Hugh asked about it.
If there's a fluid in a car, there's a service for it.
Okay.
What is the brake fluid made out of? Is it synthetic or what is it?
Well, the new brake fluid is is synthetic. Basically, I don't know really what it's derived from.
Some plant that you can get oil from, or petroleum.
Yeah, it's very oily.
Yeah,
and it's very corrosive too. Don't get it on your car. It'll
take
peel
the paint right off. Brake fluid will take the paint right off.
But the new fluid, and it doesn't matter if it's brake fluid, power steering fluid, transmission fluid, engine oil. It's all synthetic now. It's
When did you start using synthetic? Like my car is 2012. You think I've got the synthetic in there?
If someone put synthetic in there, then you would. I mean, as far as the brake fluid you're talking about, Hugh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being a 2012, do I have the synthetic in there?
Yeah, that 2012, it would have came from the factory with synthetic. Yeah.
Thanks for the call, Hugh.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
And that's something that people don't realize. Like when you go to the little 30-minute or less oil change places, and there's a myriad of them.
Right.
And they all operate basically the same way. You pull your car in over a hole, somebody's down below, they pull the oil plug, drain it out, somebody reaches in, change it. It's all relatively the same. I went to one. I used to go to those exclusively because they were quick and I could get in, especially when I first bought the Cadillac. I would go in. And I went the first time and I go, I would like a synthetic blend. The guy goes, can't do it. I go, what do you mean? He goes, my computer, when we pull up your car, my computer says you have to take synthetic oil, and because we would be liable if we put something besides synthetic in there and it broke, we can't do except what. And I was taken back by that. I was like, but I want a synthetic blend because it's just as good. He was like, manufacturer says synthetic, because of liability issues, we have to put in synthetic.
Yep.
And it wasn't. And so I thought maybe he's trying to deuce me, trying to get a little extra money out of me. Sure enough, I checked. Cadillac will void the warranty if there's not synthetic oil in there and something goes wrong and the motor blows up because of oil. Cadillac said, not our fault. You didn't put synthetic in there.
That's right. It's all just covering their butts. But
what's the difference between synthetic and synthetic blend, really?
You need to check the blends if you're using a synthetic blend. Mm-hmm. So, just like when you go get gas and it'll say on the pump that this contains
10% or more or less
of ethanol. Right. So it's the same thing with blend oils too. So you have to be real careful that you're getting a
10% less of peanut oil in this oil.
Yeah, but they got to tell you.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with the blend oils. They can go up to 90% conventional and 10% synthetic,
and it still be a blend.
And it's still a blend.
Well, I don't want that.
No, you don't. So,
I want like 70-30 synthetic.
Well, I do 80-20.
Yeah, okay.
So 80-20 is what we do, and it allows us to go 4,000 miles instead of 3,000 miles.
Right.
And it's I have had very good success and very good luck with the oils that we use. So I'm just.
Are the synthetics like some of the dumbest things to me are parameters that tell you exactly what something is. Like did the cow tell somebody what date that milk was going to go bad? And so synthetic oil say you can go up to 7,500 miles. Can you really go to 7,500, or is it best to stop at about 5,000? Because they got it now where now they got the one oil change a year oil and everything.
Yeah. No, I ain't doing that. and the other thing that they don't take into consideration is our driving conditions
in the heat.
Do you live down a dirt road? Where do you live?
Right.
What do you put the car through? And
are you in Miami where you stop and go, stop and go, stop and go?
Exactly. And here's the worst thing that I find with these types of oils that I can get 10,000 miles on my oil change. Yeah, but then nobody ever changes the oil if you have just a little bit of a leak. In 10,000 miles,
you can blow a motor up.
You done run it. I've seen it done.
Yeah,
I've seen it before.
Yeah. Good morning. You're on with Matt Gibbs.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning, Sonny.
Calling. Back to the brake fluid. I've known in the past that if you did a brake job, this is many years ago, you also bled the brakes, whether they were braking system, I should say, and to get the air out. Now, as far as I know, if there's air in the brake lines or it gets to your It'll help corrode the steel brake lines and the calipers or the pistons that make everything work, and that can get real expensive. So it's you got to really know what you're doing if you're doing the brakes. So I could say I'll wait for your remarks. I'll hang up now.
Thanks for the call, Sonny. Yeah, is bleeding the brake line still something that's done?
We only bleed them when we open the system. So I can do brakes and never open the system. We'll just compress the pistons back into the calipers, put the pads on, turn the rotors or replace the rotors, whatever, lubricate everything. And the same thing in the back. Most cars today are four-wheel disc brakes, so it's the same process in the back it is in the front. And if you have one with drum brakes, as the shoes wear out, there's a mechanical device that spreads them out. So there's no reason to open the system unless there's something that
if you open the system, air gets in, you got to get the air out.
Then we bleed it. We'll bleed it.
Just punch that.
I'm just going to knock it on the table here.
So, we started the day with Matt being aggravated.
I feel better now.
You feel better now that you've ranted?
Yeah, I kind of ranted a little bit.
But you're right. If you're going to be a reputable mechanic or reputable shop, you need to have all the information. And if you call and get some information you didn't have, then you ignore that information. That's on you.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah. I mean, you told it, do not touch the motor.
Do not.
Like right now, if somebody called you and said, Matt, I got a StabiliTrak issue on my Cadillac SRX. It's a problem. I need to bring it in to you to look at. You go, no. I know that there's a StabiliTrak problem with the 2010, 2011 SRX. Take it to Cadillac. That's what you need to do. But you know that information now.
I know that information.
And
I'd even tell you who to go talk to.
Sometimes people would rather have the business instead of giving it to somebody else at the detriment to their customer.
So if you want the business, if that's the way you look at it, and this is the way I do it. Mr. Tom, there's actually a recall on your car. If you don't want to deal with the Cadillac people, I understand. Bring the car to me. I'll deal with it for you. Yeah. If there's an issue or a problem after the fact, you just bring it to me and I'll deal with it.
I tell you, one of the best experiences I've had, and I'm going to brag on Matt Gibbs for a minute. It's one of the best experiences I had is 2 weeks ago. I needed my air conditioning unit. We talked about how it was not blowing good and everything, and we were going to probably replace the fan. We figured, but I took my vehicle to Matt and I go, "Here's the vehicle." He said, "Well, I'll get it done. I'll come back to the radio station and bring it to you." I go, "Well, it's on empty." You go, "Okay." I got back to the shop. My truck was ready. My Cadillac was ready to go. Full tank of gas. And you just put the price of the tank of gas. Here was something that, bring it to me. I'll take care of it. And you did. And somebody goes, "It's just a tank of gas." But that's 5 or 8 minutes that I didn't have to waste going and standing. Yeah. That customer service is a big deal to people.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
It used to be anyway.
Right.
I don't know if it still is anymore.
$60 though to fill up that Cadillac.
That was crazy.
Jesus Christ, mother piece of mother. Hey, Matt, tell people where they can find you.
You can give me a call at 352-690-1993 or come by and see us at 1800 Northwest 10th Street.
1800 Northwest 10th Street.
Right there on Highway 27.
Right across from the electric car place.
Yeah, the electric car
But you won't even, you miss that place if you didn't know it was there.
and Howard Middle School.
Yeah, Howard Middle School is just down from you.
Yeah.
Matt, talk to you next week.
Yes, sir.
We'll be right back after this timeout. You listen to 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. This is WOCA, The Source.